Hey everyone, welcome to another Throwback Thursday. I know it's been a while with the crazy holidays and all that. We're finally out of it, and we're in the new year in 2026. So I'm hoping to finally get monetized on YouTube. But it's not easy when you have a lot of occult videos and all that. YouTube typically doesn't like that stuff. But we got Cosmo here. And it looks like he's taking a nap here, or he's trying to. And then we got Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. So, I want to touch base on, there was a disturbing comment that really pissed me off. Last time I did a book review, it was this Young Knife Fight book. And I got a crazy, psychotic comment from somebody. And this isn't really to shame anybody per se, but I noticed like right away when I called him a psycho, he took the comment down and disappeared. But one of the disturbing things about the comment is how he was saying that he wanted to hurt Young Knife Fight's family members because he was involved in cat sacrifice. He asked me if there was a way that I could help him hex Young's family. You know, if there was something that you can do to people that have sacrificed cats or something. And I'm just saying, okay, like, a lot of batshit crazy people out there. You know, I don't give a damn about your morals and, you know, the fact that you have a problem with somebody's religious beliefs and, but you gotta leave his family out of it, okay? That's fucking insane to me. I'm sorry, I gotta say it, but there's something mental with you if you're asking me to help you hurt somebody's family over this because of one guy and something that he did. And if you're in the United States, I mean, animal sacrifice is actually legal in the U.S. It is constitutionally protected. You know, having said that, I mean, I'm not crazy about some of the actions that he did, but to ask me to help you hex somebody's family that had nothing to do whatsoever with his activities, that's just insane, man. That is really insane. I mean, they had nothing to do with it, and I'm not going to commit violence to any type of hexing for somebody just because they have a problem with the way somebody conducted their life. You know, what's done is done. I mean, it's impermanence. It's not, you know, these cats end up reincarnated. They're elevated. They're, you know, so, you know, life and death, I mean, it's just, you know, not everybody plays by somebody else's rules. That's just how it is. That's life, man. You know, I'm not gonna summon some cat goddess, Bass from Egypt or something, do some fucking ritual with her. I don't believe in that bullshit. That's not a deity that I work with. I'm not a pagan. I am a Gnostic. And I'm certainly not going to accumulate bad karma helping somebody else hurt innocent people. So, yeah, I just basically called him a psycho, and he took his comment down. And I haven't heard from him since. But good riddance, you know. There's some crazy-ass people out there. You know, I get it. I like animals too, but you know, I've said this many times. I'm not vegan. You know, I have participated in sacrifice myself. It hasn't been with cats, but hey, it's constitutionally protected. You know, we're not committing anything illegal. You know, in the U.S. here. So. In Sweden, I think it is illegal, but, yeah, you know, so I just wasn't happy with that comment, and I just needed to vent that out. And if you guys do leave comments like that, I will just, from now on, I'm seriously probably just going to delete them. Honestly, I'm not even going to waste time. So, I'll get some water before I start this. Yeah. So I just decided to clear the air with that. Alright. So I made some additions here to Lucifer's area here. I finally have a proper Baphomet statue here. Kali. Now remember, Baphomet means baptism of the mother. And this is real marble. And I got this from an Indian store in New Jersey. Really nice one, I think. A lot better than those Chinese knockoffs that you find in occult stores. And she's cutting off the ego's head there. That represents the ego. And Shiva looks pretty good there. So, and then I got one of the darkest, fiercest forms of Shiva here as a Bhairava. Pretty proud of that one. And then this is a, you guys are probably having a hard time seeing this one, but this is cremation grounds, and you have a Kali type of figure here sitting on top of a dead body doing the sadhana, which I will be explaining. There's Shiva there watching her. Isn't that cool, guys? So, now you guys are probably wondering why I'm working with Shiva so much and all that. Bhairava. Well, a lot of Luciferians view Shiva as Lucifer. We view Shiva as a mask of Lucifer. And I believe I explained in another video the whole Tibetan Tantra system. You know, the first system that came out was Hinduism. Well, what they did was they took a lot of these gods and they transformed them into Buddha avatars, basically, of different Buddha. And Bharava is in Tibetism. It is he's Yamantaka, and he's also Mahakala. So, and then I just got this statue recently from Salem. Raffle DLT there. Of consort. And this is a Tibetan form of Kali. Anyway, I've had this statue forever, so it was actually given to me. And then I framed that image of Yamantaka of consort. So, yeah, doing a lot of Tantra stuff here. I got this from an Indian place, too. This is kind of an extension to the altar here. So, I put my Kingling there. The drawer has some. I got these wicked awesome human bone mala beads, actually, from a store called Tiger. They're kind of pricey because they are human bone. So they connected a clasp here. This is a two-headed serpent, so I thought that was pretty anti-cosmic looking. And it's just called Tiger. It's a marketplace. And they sell a lot of the Tantra type of stuff. I'm going to get a Kapala. I'm looking for a skull cap that I can use for Kapala. But, yeah. Anyway. So, the left-hand path, what people call the left-hand path in the West, started with Tantra. And in particular, the Aghora version of Tantra. So, this is like a 3-book series about a guru that this guy was with, Robert here. And he's got a channel on YouTube. It's very good, actually. And these books are about his time with his guru. And he was an Aghora. And so he was exploring the left-hand path. And I assume that's him. In India. The art on this is pretty awesome. And I'm on book 2 right now. the Kundalini one. So I will be, as I'm done with these books, I will be discussing them in depth. This is the one about karma, this one right here. But today we're going to focus on At the Left Hand of God. Now, this is like Left Hand Path 101 type of shit. I mean, this is something that everybody on the left hand path needs to read. As I'd mentioned, Jan Nodvite was reading this book and it inspired him to write that song about Kali that is on the final album, Rain Chaos. The original cover of this book from back in the 80s has Kali as Tara. And she has scissors in one hand and she's got a noose in another hand. And she's stepping on a body that is being cremated. Why? Because she severs your existence, your physical existence, basically. So if you understand the meaning of that song, you understand that he's basically saying he wants her to kill him. He wants her to take him. Because he talks about this in this book, about dancing with, Mahakala and, and Kali, basically. Because they control time. Both of them control time, and they're also involved in death, too. So, as I mentioned, Mahakala is in Tibetan Tantra system. That is a dark form of Shiva that is similar to Bhairava. And anyway, the backstory about this is guy goes to India, a little bit hesitant about the left-hand path, and this is all about, this is his teacher talking throughout this book. Everything that is in this book is basically a diary of his guru talking and teaching us through this. And there really is amazing stuff in this. So I particularly like it about when he talks about people who are involved in slaughtering animals, for example. They will eventually also be killed in another life in a similar way, probably, because that's just how it is. That's like the laws of karma. In the West, when we say karma, we think, oh, that's just punishment or whatever. Karma is actually a debt that you have to pay. You accumulate it, and sometimes you meet certain people in another life because you're meant to, because you have connected karma with that person. For example, if somebody steals from you, it usually means that you owed them in a previous life. And therefore they have the ability to take that debt from you. He talks about, if you're thinking about suicide, it means you are destined to take your own life, probably. If that's the only way that you want to die, you are destined to do that. Like these things, certain thoughts come into your mind because of some kind of karma related thing that has happened. So similarly, if you end up like stealing from somebody else or whatever, that means that you were probably meant to take from that individual because that person may have wronged you in another life. So certain things happen. People repeat certain patterns because of previous karma. Oops, I'm trying to find a passage. Sure. I posted it on my Facebook page too. You guys probably already saw it where I'm talking about that. So samsara is basically controlled by Maya. He describes Maya as basically the goddess of samsara, basically. So what she does is she entraps you, and you have to figure out a way to get off the planet, basically. Now, some people are okay with being trapped in samsara. Some people like being reborn. I mean, that's fine. You know, he says there's two kinds of people. There's people that are human, and then there's people that are donkeys, basically. And the donkeys are people that live for the mundane. They eat, they sleep, they have sex. Like they're just basically just animals, right? So he said that like very few people are really spiritual and want to get off the planet. These people can unlock things such as like their kundalini power and other things. You know, he says like they have absolutely no thought for the suffering of animals they slaughter. They never hesitate to kill and eat. So he says that Ma has to teach donkeys to respect animals. She has no alternatives but to make them suffer as they have made other beings suffer, allowing the animals they have tortured to torture them in return. Fair is fair, after all. If I cut your throat in this birth, you will have every right to cut mine in the next, or in some succeeding birth. Experience is the best teacher, and a fool will learn from no other. Alright. Sorry about that. My card got full. My memory card. Because I didn't initialize. When you turn on a camera, it's a good idea to initialize the memory card, even if there's nothing on there. So, anyway, where was I? So people, sometimes if they eat too much meat, they'll be reincarnated as a carnivore forest animal, such as a lion or a tiger. So Maya basically looks at your desires, and if you want all the sex in the world, you'll probably end up in another life being a prostitute. You know, there's certain things, like when we die and we desire something, we end up being that. That's kind of like part of the laws of karma. One of the things that I also loved about this was when he was talking about the first time he sat on top of a body and meditated. That's known as sadhana, which is exactly what the Kali figure is doing here. And the reason why the Aghori do that is because it is transgressive, A. B, if you are a male Aghori, you choose a female body and you sit on it and you visualize Kali, or Shakti, as she is sometimes known as. That's how you experience the goddess. If you want to experience the god, you would sit on top of a male body, not a female body. So, now obviously that is illegal in the United States, unfortunately. But there are people in the West that practice sadhana. They just, they have to do it on top of graves. So they'll do it in a cemetery, typically. So it's not impossible, but it's also not going to be as transgressive as the Indian experience would be. So some background on the Aghori. The Aghori are a group of holy people that engage in taboo things. They are... Foolish Fish did like an excellent video about the left-hand path. I'm going to leave a link in the description because he does a really excellent job describing the left-hand path and the Aghori. He also recommends this book as well. This is one of his recommendations. For those of you who don't know who Foolish Fish is a British occultist that does a lot of book reviews. You guys might like his channel. So, I'm sorry, I seem to have like a lot of stuff in my throat today. So, the Aghori are followers of Shiva and Kali, and they are kind of considered necromancers in a way. They work a lot with death, with bones. They drink, out of skulls. Sometimes they wear skulls around their neck. They wear bones around their neck. They might wear, mala beads like this, for example. They may even participate in a form of cannibalism, where they will go to the cremation grounds and they will pull flesh off a dead body and eat it. Basically what they are trying to achieve is a form of spirituality where they do not reject anything. Everything is considered blessed and beautiful, even the most repulsive things. So, if I, look outside my window and, I see all this garbage and all that, and it's stinking, because this is Baltimore, right? Look at all that garbage out there. Okay, well, in the summertime, it stinks really bad out here. If I go out here and I meditate, which I'm kind of afraid to because of the heroin needles that I found in my yard from junkies, but, like I've done some meditation in Lincoln Park. Okay, why would I choose Lincoln Park? Well, Lincoln Park is known for murder. It's an open-air cemetery. It's considered repulsive to a lot of people. So, an Aghora would say, the garbage is just as beautiful as the nature. So what's going on out here is just as beautiful. And, I mean, that's actually pretty clean out there compared to what it's normally like. Because you guys have seen some shorts that I have done. As you know, trash service here is like a joke. So, but, I mean, people also are responsible for their actions, too, and they choose to be dirty here, too. So, so it is what it is. And, right, Cosmo? And that's Jerry. And that's Cosmo. Yep. So, they view the absolute repulsive things, things that most people would not like. Everything down to, like, from bodies to garbage to everything. Like, that is as sacred as anything that is holy and beautiful. Because everything to them is holy and beautiful. So you get to the point where it's like you start understanding that there is nothing profane on earth. Everything just is. So that's why they engage in these actions. They might engage in sexual yoga with random people. Unfortunately, in the U.S. and in the West in general, Tantra is associated with just sex. It is considered mundane, lustful yoga, basically. This is because of Aleister Crowley and his tainting of the Tantra system, unfortunately. Which is why I recommend reading books like this, and not, reading a lot of Western stuff. You have to be careful with Western books. But sometime I'm going to show you guys all of my Tantra books. I'm getting a few more arriving soon. I just got the Dance of Death about the Aghora from Raven's Stronghold, so hopefully that's going to be good. But this is a good beginner's book on this whole Aghora topic. But it's just, it's an amazing book. If you're into, like, first-person perspectives, it's really a good one. It talks about intoxicants, intoxication, different drugs that you can take, to experience the spiritual. I can't really go into things like that too much. I mean, I guess I could mention it, but I have been doing some salvia divitorum and some marijuana. I've mixed the two of them, actually, and please do not do this without doing your research, because it is dangerous. The reason why I mix the two of them is because I'm on medication, and the medication creates mind control from the pharmaceutical perspective, so it makes it almost hard for me to do things like astral travel and all that. Things that used to be easy, you know, get blocked out because of the medication that I'm on. So what I have to do is I have to take out the barrier somehow, and putting myself into a form of, I hate to call it, but it's a form of psychosis, basically, where I have to break down the mental barrier in order to make myself more vulnerable to visions and, you know, different things coming in from these workings and stuff. So, a good example of this was my Ishu wanted me to do an astral travel thing with him, and so what I did was I smoked some salvia with cannabis, and then I went to bed. And immediately I just felt myself drifting and going through that. And my experience is as clear as day, what happened. I'm not going to go into it, you know, because it is private, some of it. But I mean, I've been through some of the actual tunnels of the clip-off after using certain intoxicant, you know, things. Well, I've had actual visions, visions of Mott, you know, and Telsa Moth, and, you know, all these other areas and tunnels. And, oh. This is one of my packages was delivered. So, so sometimes it takes that. So some of the things that he talks about is there is a very powerful intoxicant drug. It's a thing that you do with marijuana where you actually eat it. I think there's a dish where you make it and you eat it. He talks about it in here. Let me try to find the name of it. It is an actual dish that you can get in India. We eat it and it's going to be more powerful than anything you've smoked. Like, he actually said it's kind of dangerous if you do it all the time. And they usually load themselves up with, like, booze, too, before they do a lot of these rituals. So, yeah, smoked Chilean of marijuana. Chilean. At one point he says he kept a cobra and he allowed the cobra to bite him, to go into some type of visions of it. Please do not catch a rattlesnake and try to do that. It is deadly, guys. Obviously, I don't recommend doing that. I also do not recommend taking white arsenic and licking the crystals that go into that. Hashish obviously is pretty powerful. So but I also don't recommend being dependent on drugs too much, and definitely not booze. So I don't want anybody getting involved in some unhealthy habits because but the reality is, yeah, a lot of them do this. Now obviously I'm not a drug fiend or anything, so it's not like I'm doing this stuff all the time. When I do smoke weed, it is only for religious purposes. I'm not, a pothead that sits around and gets doped up all the time. I don't want anybody to believe that. Like, it's purely religious, if it's something that I have to do to, like, get myself, like I said, in a state of some form of psychosis, which is breaking down the mental barrier and all that, then I may have to do that. That's the thing. Because otherwise the pharmaceuticals that I'm usually on tend to block that stuff. So, but in closing, I mean, it goes into like a lot of parable type of stories and stuff about, kings and all this. And kind of just his experience, his life. Honestly, he was independently wealthy. He came from an independently wealthy family, and he basically made himself poor. But, yeah. This is about his mentor, the Aghora Vima Lananda. And I believe I think he died from heart failure. But after he died, Robert ended up writing all these books about his time with them. And anyway, I can't recommend this enough. This book has really helped me. It's really a beautiful, amazing book. So, if this sounds like your kind of thing, definitely order it. They are available on Amazon. I recommend, of course, tracking them down from an occult store first. If you live in Massachusetts, I got this in Boston. There are some stores that sell Eastern stuff. So, try to support your brick and mortar stores. Amazon should be the last, place. But, but anyway, I know New York City's got quite a few stores like that too, where they sell a lot of Eastern. So, Depends on where you live. Anyway. Excuse me. If you guys liked this Throwback Thursday book review of Aghora, At the Left Hand of God, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you.